Dorothy was stunned when she heard this and thought that maybe she and Lily had taken a wrong turn, based on the looks of the two bodyguards. Just then, Dr. Willow walked over. "What's going on? Are you Kevin's friends?" "He's my husband." "Is that so? Then please come in." "Lily, what are you doing here? Can't I come visit your parents?" "Let me introduce you to everyone. This is my father, Alan, and this is my mother, Susan, and this is Dr. Willow, the director of the hospital in New York that first treated them. Thanks to her, my parents are doing fine now." "Hospital director? From New York? What's she doing here?" "Really, Kevin? This is unbelievable. You were gone for just a couple of days and brought back some other woman? You haven't changed at all. Still..." "You've misunderstood. We just got here from New York after a horrible experience that almost killed my husband. Kevin and Fifi are just very good friends. She's really helped us a lot." "Fifi? I'm ashamed of you, Kevin." "Lily, this is all a huge misunderstanding. I'm not surprised that things have come to this. And it's not a misunderstanding. Kevin, you've been freeloading in our house for 3 years. At first, I thought that no matter how useless you are, at least you were honest. As long as you treated Lily well, I was willing to look the other way. But I really didn't expect you to cheat on my daughter with some little you picked up in New York. Well, that's fine with me. Anyway, it looks like your parents are like this. So now you can go ahead and finally divorce Lily. I'm sure I can find a good husband for her." "What the hell is wrong with you? Don't you ever think before you speak? How dare you talk to me like that? You go out and cheat on your wife and then you don't have the guts to admit it? What kind of man are you? This son of yours isn't only incompetent, but he also loves to embarrass my family and draw attention to himself wherever he goes. I really don't know what kind of would fall for him. If I had a son like him, I'd die of embarrassment." "Shut up." "Why should I shut up? Did I say something wrong?" "Please don't upset Mr. and Mrs. Williams anymore. They need to rest now." "Since when did a like you earn the right to speak here?" "If you continue to behave like this, don't blame me for being rude to you." "Kevin, what do you want to do? Are you going to hit my mother?" "You don't believe me either? I can only believe what I see." "Please leave. Don't come back and disturb my parents like this again. Come on, Lily, let's go." As Lily and Dorothy were walking out of the hospital, they received a call from Grandma Jones, saying that there was an urgent matter that she wanted to discuss. The two of them called for a ride and quickly headed to the Jones family mansion. "Grandma, what happened?" "Actually, there's nothing urgent. Let me tell you what happened. Last month, the Jones family's financial record showed that the family's total income has decreased by almost 30%. What's the use of having so many shares?" "Has it gone down that much? How is that possible?" "What are you pretending for? The accounting department also said that the money we lost was transferred to the import-export company that Tyler Dawn gave you. Lily, how could you do such a thing? Are you trying to pocket all of our family's money?" "That's impossible. I've never let the people from the import-export company interact with anyone from our family." Then Lily realized that although she had control of the company Tyler had given her, she didn't know everyone the Jones family had running their businesses. Something didn't add up. "Just look for yourself. Lily, it looks like you're still too young to be in such an important position. Return your shares to the family, and then go back to your old position with us and get more experience." "I'll do as you say, Grandma. In any case, I don't seem to have any choice." "I'm glad I haven't misjudged you." After his parents had recovered from their injuries, Kevin decided to return to Williams Media to see how things were going. "Kevin, I'm really sorry about this. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be riding a scooter right now." It all had started 2 days ago when Kevin headed out with Dr. Willow to buy some clothes for his parents. Dr. Willow mentioned that she was planning to buy a car, but since she got her driver's license, she hadn't practiced much, which made her a little anxious. So Kevin decided to help her out by finding an empty parking lot so she could practice driving without any traffic. Then he gave her the key to his and let her get behind the wheel. Unfortunately, she drove the car right into a light pole and then another one. The car was still at the body shop and Kevin had no idea when he'd get it back. So he decided to ride his scooter for a while just for fun instead of taking one of his other cars. They soon arrived in the Williams Media parking garage. There had been a lot of changes at Williams Media lately. For some unknown reason, a few of their clients had suddenly canceled their contracts and the company had suffered huge losses from it. But right after Kevin parked his scooter and he and Dr. Willow got off, a black car suddenly crashed into it, almost demolishing the little bike. Soon, a young man in a business suit and shiny leather shoes quickly jumped out of the car. He looked at the big dent in his fender and got very upset.
"What's wrong with you? Why did you park a scooter in this garage? Do you realize how much this car cost me? Now this is going to cost you."
Just then, a young woman in her mid-30s stepped out of the car. "Logan, how is the car? Is everything all right?" Kevin was stunned when he saw the woman. It was actually his college advisor, Professor Charity Boyer. "Kevin, what are you doing here? Do you work for Williams Media?"
"I'm just hanging around." "You must be mistaken, Miss Boyer. The way this guy is dressed, do you really think he works here?"
"Kevin, I told you when you were in school. You have to take responsibility for yourself. Don't expect everything to just fall into your lap. But it sounds like you didn't take my words to heart. Take a look at what Brittany is doing. She was also one of my students, and now her career is taking off. And Tucker is currently the manager of a large company. How did you end up like this?" "Professor Boyer, we aren't in school right now. Why do you feel like you need to teach me a lesson?" "All right. If you don't want to listen to me, then I have nothing more to say to you. If you damaged Morgan's car, then you need to find a way to fix it for him."
"You're a troublemaker, aren't you? I'll ask you one more time. Are you going to give me the money or not?"
"And I'll keep telling you the same thing. You hit my scooter, my parked scooter. Why should I give you any money?"
"I think you need someone to teach you a lesson."
"Logan, please calm down. We're on Williams Media property. If you attack him here, you'll be in big trouble. What's going on here?" Morgan and the others turned around and saw Kevin's chief of staff, Miss Sandra Wilson, walking up to them wearing a very stylish business suit. Brittany Davis was following close behind. Although Miss Wilson's voice sounded cordial, she obviously wasn't pleased with what she saw.
"Hello, Miss Wilson. This man left his scooter here in the parking garage. He even damaged my car with it."
No one would have thought that Miss Wilson would ignore Charity and Morgan and walk right past them. She went straight up to Kevin. "I'm very sorry I'm late, sir. Are you all right?"
"Sandra, Miss Wilson, you must be mistaken. This poor man riding a scooter? How could he possibly be the CEO of Williams Media?"
"So you think I made a mistake? Like the CEO's chief of staff wouldn't recognize her own boss?"
"Fine. Even if he is the CEO of Williams Media, he can't break the company's rules and regulations. If he hadn't brought this scooter into the parking garage, this whole mess wouldn't have happened. With a boss like him, the company's future doesn't look very bright."
"Do you know how to read? It's clearly marked that this space is reserved for our CEO, and the entire company is his, from the roof right down to this parking space. If our CEO wanted to, he could park a cow here. Sir, do you need me to call the police?" "I think we're done here. I have a solution. Sir, you are not welcome on Williams Media property in the future. Please leave now, or I will have you removed by security." Over the past few days, 7 or 8 advertising companies had canceled their contracts with them. There was something fishy about this, and there was no way it could be a coincidence. Just then, Kevin's phone suddenly rang. He looked at the caller ID and saw that it was Tyler Dawn. "Kevin, did you ask Lily to give her Jones family shares in that import-export company to Grandma Jones?" "I didn't know about any of this. Besides, I don't have anything to do with the Jones family anymore. As for the import-export company, you can do whatever you want with it." However, Kevin had already guessed what was going on. The Jones family must have taken advantage of his absence and stolen the shares from Lily. "Miss Wilson, Please go and find out what's been going on in the Jones family for the past few days. Yes, sir. I'll get on that right away. Mr. Williams, there's one more thing I'd like to talk to you about. The Pearl family is having an auction tonight, and we received an invitation to attend. I don't have time for it. Sir, you may want to attend this auction. The Pearl family has several important projects with our company. Besides, I heard that there may be a Dream Lover necklace in this auction, so... A Dream Lover necklace was something that every woman yearned to own. Although Miss Wilson was very well off, she definitely couldn't afford one. When Kevin saw the look in Miss Wilson's eyes, he understood why she was so eager to attend the auction. He thought about how hard Miss Wilson worked to help him manage Williams Media, especially with all his absences lately, and he figured it was about time he did something to reward her effort. All right, then you can come along with me tonight. I'll buy it for you. I had no idea you were interested in auctions like this.
To tell you the truth, I didn't really want to come here, but Miranda was bored at home, so she decided to check it out. So, Kevin, I see you didn't bring your wife along, but I do see that you're here with a very beautiful woman. Be careful, or I may tell Lily.
Just then, there was a commotion at the entrance to the auction hall. Kevin and Dalton looked over and saw Phoebe Anderson walking in, dressed very elegantly. She was drawing a lot of attention. Kevin, so you're here too. Why didn't you let me know? I just got here a few minutes ago. What a coincidence. At that very moment, Truman was standing in the doorway giving Kevin a death stare.
Dad, who is this guy? Why did Phoebe get so happy when she saw him? His name is Kevin. Dad, so that's the useless son-in-law from the Jones family that I've heard so much about?
It's true that he's married to someone in the Jones family, but he's really not that useless. Isaac, it's still a little too early to call me father.
No problem. Anyway, it's going to happen sooner or later. I thought you might want to get used to it.
First, you need to do something about that brat Kevin Williams.
I was wondering where that smell was coming from.
Isaac Holden, what are you doing? Kevin, don't get the wrong idea. I have nothing to do with him.
Phoebe, why are you explaining yourself to... Besides, your father has already given me his blessing. Are you still playing hard to get?
And who are you?
You want to know who I am? I'll tell you. My name is Isaac Holden, and I'm the sole heir to the Holden family's pharmaceuticals company.
Isaac took an immediate dislike to Kevin and started insulting him. Dalton pushed him in the chest, knocking him to the ground.
You'll pay for this. Keep pointing that finger at me and I'll break it off.
Please calm down, dear. Fortunately, the fight was interrupted by the start of the auction. Kevin and Dalton decided not to sit in the seats up front that were reserved for Williams Media.
Kevin, I heard that there will be an auction for a batch of some newly developed herbal medicine, but no one knows its specific effects.
Just then, Phoebe walked over to Kevin. She really just wanted to sit with Kevin. Just then, Isaac sat down next to her. The auction soon started. The Pearl family rolled out the 4 Dream Lover necklaces to start the auction. A lot consisting of 4 Dream Lover necklaces, starting bid $11 million. $12 million. He turned to Phoebe and said, "Don't worry, Phoebe. I'm definitely going to buy this for you." The other bidders jumped in and they had raised the price to $25 million. Suddenly, a woman held up her paddle and shouted, $35 million. Forget it. It's not worth spending so much money. She didn't want Isaac to buy anything for her. But if Kevin gave her something, Phoebe would still treat it like a rare treasure. All right, then I won't buy it. Kevin instantly laughed when he heard this. What are you laughing at? Why don't you bid $40 million so you can give these necklaces to Phoebe? Isaac, if you don't have anything better to do, just sit there and don't bother anyone. You really ought to learn when to keep your yap shut.
Phoebe, please don't be angry with me. I won't say anything else, okay?
By now, the bidding on the set of Dream Lover necklaces had already climbed to $51 million. That's when Kevin sent a text to Miss Wilson, who was sitting up front in the area reserved for Williams Media. Miss Wilson suddenly held up her paddle. $58 million. There was a huge gasp in the room when she said this. The auctioneer smacked the gavel. Congratulations, Miss Wilson, for successfully bidding on the Dream Lover lot at $58 million. Listening to the thunderous applause of the audience, Phoebe's heart sank.
May I have your attention, please? I believe that everyone here is interested in the benefits of herbal medication.
Kevin looked doubtingly at the box on the table next to the auctioneer.
The formula for the pills in this box was developed 80 years ago. Who would like to be the first to experience this unique herbal medication? The bidding starts at $5 million.
$10 million,
a man said as he stood up and raised his paddle high in the air. A woman on the other side of the room held up her own paddle to bid.
$15 million.
The bidding had already reached $20 million. Dalton was about to stand up and raise his paddle to bid when Kevin pulled him back down to his chair. Kevin, why did you stop me?
This herbal med is probably the real thing, but even though it was kept in a hermetically sealed vault, it no longer has any medicinal value. You'd be throwing away your money.
Just because you can't afford to bid, do you want to keep someone else from getting it?
While this was going on, a man quickly walked up to Kevin, accompanied by a few staff members.
I'm sorry, sir, but if the two of you have some personal grudge against each other, I must ask you to take it outside. It was Zane Pearl from the family that owned the auction house.
Zane was also in charge of his family's businesses and didn't get around much, so Kevin hadn't met him yet. Suddenly, Isaac pointed at Kevin and shouted,
"Mr. Pearl!" He even told the people sitting near him not to bid.
Phoebe immediately stood up from her seat and said, "I'm sorry, Mr. Pearl. Please don't take him seriously." Although he had never seen Kevin before, he knew Phoebe and her family, so he had to be polite to her.
"Well, since this gentleman was just joking, I'll just ask Miss Anderson to keep the discussion civil so that we don't disturb the bidders. We don't want to influence the auction," Zane said quietly.
"I'm really sorry, Mr. Pearl. Sorry about the disturbance," Phoebe replied quickly. Just as Zane was about to walk away with his people, Kevin suddenly stood up and said,
"I wasn't joking with Dalton.
This lot of herbal medicine is too old. Even though it was sealed for the past 80 years, it could be poisonous if someone took it." That really got everyone's attention.
Isaac smiled cruelly and said, "Mr. Pearl, did you hear what he just said?
Did you really come here to cause a riot?"
"I'm telling the truth. The herbal medication in that box is useless," Kevin replied calmly.
"All right, I'm going to have to ask you to leave," Zane said with a sneer.
"Zane Pearl, you really are amazing," Dalton said as he stood up from his chair. "Let me tell you something. Kevin is my friend. If you want him to leave, you'll have to ask me too. Do you really want to do that?"
"Dalton Steele?" Zane said as a look of recognition flashed in his eyes. He really couldn't afford to say the wrong thing to someone from the Steele family. "I'm sorry. This is all a misunderstanding. I didn't know he was your friend. If you'll excuse me, I have to make a phone call." Then he rushed off, leaving everyone to turn their attention back to the auction. When Zane realized that Kevin and Dalton were friends, he backed down and walked away. Suddenly, an older man raised his paddle and said, $60 million. Congratulations to the gentleman for this unique purchase. The auction house staff carried the box over to him and opened it. The man took one of the herbal pills in his trembling hand and took the herbal pill right away. The older gentleman suddenly let out a strange moan. Then he fell to the floor twitching. "Grandpa, what's wrong with you?" Everyone started to wonder what was going on. They all turned their heads and looked at Kevin. This was exactly what he had predicted. When Zane heard all the commotion, he hurried over to the stricken man. "There must be something wrong with the herbal medicine you just sold him. If my grandfather dies, I'll definitely bring the Pearl family down. Let's get your grandfather to the hospital so they can check him out. Just don't try to blackmail us," Zane warned her. She opened her wallet and showed them her ID. "I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't realize." Zane barked orders into staff. "Quick, call an ambulance." "I'm afraid it won't get here in time. He was poisoned by that useless expired herbal pill. If you trust me, let me save your grandfather. But we can't delay any longer." "I'll let you try, but if something happens to my grandfather, I'll hold everyone here responsible." "Of course," Kevin responded. Then he turned around and asked for a bottle of water as he reached inside his jacket and pulled out a small vial of herbal powder. Kevin poured the powder in the water bottle and shook it gently. He leaned over and held up the man's head to give him a sip. After a few minutes, the man's face started to look more normal. Even his breathing got smoother. Your grandfather is out of danger now. With some rest, he should be all right in a day or two. Thank you, the woman said as she heaved a sigh of relief. I'll definitely repay you for your kindness. After saying this, the woman had her companions carry her grandfather out of the auction hall. Just then, Zane suddenly walked up to Kevin and patted him on the shoulder, saying, Thank you so much. I'm sorry about what I said earlier. How about we make friends? You can call me Zane from now on. Sounds good. My name's Kevin. I'm wondering about those two people, Zane. Why were you so shocked to see the woman's ID? When Kevin said this, Zane put his finger to his lips and then pulled over to a corner where no one could hear them. That woman and her grandfather are from a very powerful underworld organization. They call themselves the Myriads. What she showed me was an ID from the School for the Healing Arts. Now that you saved that man, you may have put a target on your back. Zane asked one of his assistants to bring a box for Kevin. Please accept this as a token of the Pearl family's gratitude for your help today. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have something to deal with now that the auction is over. Kevin thanked him and opened the little box. Inside was, of course, a pearl lapel pin in a gold setting. Before he reached the car, Kevin ran into Truman Anderson, Phoebe, and Isaac. Miss Wilson hurried over to him. She handed him an exquisite box. Here are the Dream Lover necklaces we bought, sir. Kevin took one of the necklaces out of the box and gave it to Miss Wilson, saying, This one's yours. I still have some things to take care of. Please head back to the office without me, Kevin said nonchalantly. Thank you again. I'm so lucky to work for a CEO like you. Truman and the other two were shocked. Kevin took out another necklace from the box and walked over to Phoebe. With a big smile, he said, This one's for you. You're the CEO of Williams Media? Who would have guessed? Kevin said with a laugh. Go ahead and take it. Thank you, Phoebe said hesitantly. Can I at least treat you to dinner? Okay, I'm a little hungry too, Kevin said with a smile. Then he opened the door for her. She completely ignored her father, who was still standing there watching, and slipped into Kevin's. At that very moment, Kevin was driving into town chatting with Phoebe. While they were talking, Kevin's phone rang. He looked at the caller ID and was surprised to see that it was Officer Emmett. I'll be waiting for you at the Salix Leaf Hotel, Officer Emmett told him before she abruptly hung up the phone. Kevin sighed and turned to look at Phoebe. Everyone wants to treat me to a meal today. That was Officer Emmett from the Chicago Police. Why don't you come along with me? I'm sure she wouldn't mind. No thanks. I'll just go home, Phoebe said. It sounds like you have some business to discuss. Okay, then I'll drop you off at home on the way. However, Phoebe was very disappointed. She totally didn't think that Kevin would actually do what she asked. Kevin dropped Phoebe off at her family's mansion and then headed over to the brand new Salix Leaf Hotel. When Kevin entered the lobby, he immediately spotted Officer Emmett. Well, what's going on? Have you heard anything about the Myriads? Would you be willing to try to infiltrate their organization? You have so many highly trained officers, how could I possibly be of any help? It's precisely because you haven't had any specialized training that you could be ideal for this. We have good intel that the Myriads are going to set up a branch in Chicago in the near future. My superiors want us to get to them before they have a chance to gain a foothold. I know what you're capable of. You're our only hope to get inside the group. Where will I go to find them? The first prison of Chicago, she replied awkwardly. I can set it up so you blend in. You want me to go undercover in a prison? We don't have any choice. You'd only have about 10 days. But I haven't said yes yet. If you don't help me, I could lose my job, Officer Emmett said quietly. Let me think about it. Okay, I promise. Just tell me what your plan is. It's very simple. In a little while, you're going to take a bottle of wine and walk over to the third man sitting on the sofa to my left. Follow him and then hit him with the bottle. Remember, you have to be convincing. After that, our plainclothes officer will arrest you and take care of the rest. Sorry about this, dude." As soon as he finished speaking, he knocked the man out cold. Blood was flowing down the man's scalp. Kevin was sitting in a corner of the prison yard, feeling the cool breeze on his head. He looked at the other inmate searching for his target. Finally, Kevin spotted him by the stairs not far away from him. It was Brett Stewart, the member of the Myriads that Officer Emmett had told him about. Just then, a basketball suddenly flew over Kevin and hit Stewart in the head. A big, burly man walked over and picked up the ball.
"Sorry, man. I guess I threw it too hard."
"I'm fine." Merriweather bounced the basketball on the floor and then threw it into Stewart's face, giving him a bloody nose. "Merriweather, are you bullying people again?"
"Who the hell said that?"
"Don't you remember me?"
"So it's you."
Merriweather completely forgot about his fight with Stewart and rushed at Kevin. Kevin turned his body slightly to dodge Merriweather's fist. "I can't believe you want to do this again." In the next second, Merriweather was sent flying 10 feet away, knocking over a few of the prisoners who were watching the spectacle.
"What are you all waiting for? Kill them!"
Just as the group was about to attack, a prison guard walked over to them waving his baton. Kevin raised his eyebrows when he saw the guard. He had a very confident attitude, and the inmate seemed to respect his authority. That night, Kevin was lying in bed trying to get some sleep after a very long day when he suddenly opened his eyes. He sat up and saw Merriweather walking towards Stewart with a few of his men. He was holding a pillow in his hand. Kevin couldn't believe that Merriweather actually wanted to kill Stewart.
"What are you guys doing in the middle of the night?" "This is none of your business. If you know what's good for you, you'll make believe you didn't see anything. Just go back to sleep."
"Do you really need to kill him?"
"Let's kill this right now."
Kevin calmly kicked Merriweather in the chest. At the same time, he ducked every blow thrown by all the other attackers, moving through them like lightning.
"How did you get so much stronger since the last time?"
Before Kevin could reply, a few prison guards who had heard all the noise rushed into the large room.
"Are you okay, man?" "Thank you for saving my life. I owe you one."
3 days later, Kevin's grandfather, Randall Williams, was sitting in an armchair at the family's mansion in New York. Sitting on a chair next to him was a middle-aged man in a business suit.
"May I ask why you called me to New York on such short notice?" "Please, this is a serious matter, Mr. Roundtree. One of my grandchildren has disappointed us greatly. He went so far as to bring outsiders into our home to fight with us. I need to do something to protect my family, and I know that you have the resources to help."
"Our products aren't for everyone. It takes a lot of preparation and training, too."
"That's why I brought you here. I've heard that Light Street Labs has an herbal pill just for this purpose."
"That's right, Mr. Williams. The effect of our new blend is quite unique. It can quickly give a jump start to someone who wants to develop their energy and focus, especially when they're in a situation like the one you're facing."
"Do you happen to have any with you today? My family is willing to pay any price."
"Mr. Williams, you're taking this too seriously. It's just one little herbal pill. If you bring your family into the Myriads, you'll have all the herbal medicine and resources you need."
"What are you talking about? The Myriads have a very dangerous reputation in the New Age underground. I've known you for years and would rather work with you and Light Street Labs directly. How could you ask us to join the Myriads?"
"Don't worry, Mr. Williams. I have news for you. 5 years ago, I joined the Myriads, and I'm no longer with Light Street Labs. Mr. Williams, as long as you're willing to bring your family into the Myriads, I guarantee that the benefits will be beyond your wildest dreams."
"You're putting me in a difficult position. How could I bring my family into an organization like the Myriads?"
After 2 weeks, Officer Emmett still hadn't found any evidence to keep Stewart in custody, so they had to release him.
"Kevin, gotta go now, but I'll definitely find a way to contact you."
"Don't worry. I got a short sentence, so I should be out real soon." The next morning, Kevin was released too. Just then, a tall, lanky guy and a tough-looking man suddenly walked up to Kevin. "Mr. Williams, our boss would like you to come along with us." Half an hour later, Kevin arrived at a bar a couple of blocks from North Michigan Avenue. The men led him into a luxurious private room.
"I told you I'd be waiting when you got out.
You didn't have to go to all this trouble.
Please forgive me, my friend. The prison wasn't a good place for us to talk. That's why I deliberately concealed my identity."
"Oh, then who are you really?"
"Have you heard of the Myriads? I'm one of the top bosses in the organization."
"The Myriads?"
"That's right. Since you and I are brothers now, this is your chance to put your skills to work. From now on, you'll be the enforcer of the Chicago Myriads."
When he got to the Whistler, Kevin saw someone familiar outside the building. It was Dalton Steele's wife, Miranda, being chased down the street by more than a dozen people.
"Stop it!
Kevin, go and find Dalton."
"If you know what's good for you, you'll get out of here right now. If you don't, I promise it'll be painful."
"I'll tell you what. I'll give you just 1 minute to get out of here."
"Have it your way. Brothers, get him."
"Kevin, you have to get out of here now. There are too many of them. If I let these guys get you, how can I ever face Dalton again?"
"Screw you!"
the group's leader shouted as he rose from the ground and slashed at Kevin's back with his knife. His clothes instantly turned red from all the blood. "Kevin, don't worry about me. Save yourself." A few of Stewart's men had gone outside to see if Kevin had arrived yet, and they saw the fight. One of them yelled,
"What the hell's going on? They're attacking our enforcer."
In seconds, dozens of members of the Myriads rushed out of the hotel and surrounded Dominic Archer's group with murder in their eyes.
"Who the hell are you? Your worst nightmare."
As more and more of them rushed out of the hotel to help Kevin, Dominic's men had no choice but to surrender. "Kevin, can you hear me? Please hang on."
"I'll be fine, but you should get out of here and go find Dalton. And don't go out alone from now on. Hang on, Kevin. We'll get you to the hospital."
The hospital staff couldn't believe how many people came in to drop Kevin off. As soon as they were sure that he would get good treatment, most of Stewart's group left. Kevin looked at the men who were standing guard over him. "What are your names?"
"I'm Spencer."
"And I'm Derek. From now on, the two of you will be my deputies in the Chicago branch. When I'm not around, you'll be in charge." Once he was alone, Kevin called Miss Wilson and asked her to come to the hospital if she had the time. "Sir, what happened?" "I'll be fine. Just tell me what you found out." "There's clear evidence that Victoria and Jason Jones conspired to steal Lily's shares and have her banished from the family. In order to pay her bill, she got a job as a broadcaster with our company." "Is the import-export company also in the hands of the Jones family?" "Yes, sir. They took that too. But Mr. Dawn personally took over the company and ran it into the ground, causing the Jones family to lose close to $400 million. Please log in and arrange to have $100,000 transferred each day to Lily's payroll account. Make sure it's from my personal account, not the company's." His phone vibrated, snapping him out of his daydream. He looked at the caller ID and answered, "Hi, Marshall. It's been a while. What have you been up to lately?"
"I saw how well you could refine herbal medication, so I got some of my men together to find you tons of herbs and stuff. I'm wondering where you want me to send them."
At the same time that Kevin was turning his apartment into a New Age medical lab, Lily was broadcasting a live show. She also attracted tons of fans who sent her donations or bought memberships. As soon as Lily started her show, a fan with the username Immortal Sword Inheritor sent her a series of donations for her account. "Thank you, Immortal Sword Inheritor."
"Goddess, why don't you do it? Dance."
"I'm sorry, I never learned to dance."
"Is this your first live stream? Don't you know I've donated more than anyone else? You need to do what I say."
Lily began to stand up from her chair, but just as she was about to dance, someone using the handle Mighty Moose donated $50,000.
"Now that I'm the high tipper, I have a request. Just talk for a while. Don't bother doing anything else."
Meanwhile, Kevin was at his apartment in Corwin Tower putting ingredients into a medicinal cauldron that he'd had delivered. Suddenly, there was a flash of lightning from the storm outside. Then the lights flickered for a moment. Kevin looked towards the living room and saw a figure standing there. "How did you get in here?" Pill refinement should be taken very seriously, especially with what some call the heaven and earth pill. Who are you? It's been many years since I've seen an apothecary with as much potential as you. Young man, where did you find the formula for this medicinal pill? Suddenly, there was another bolt of lightning. It made the whole apartment shake, and when Kevin looked at the cauldron, the green glow became brighter and brighter. After the steam dissipated and the glow faded, Kevin looked into the cauldron and saw a green pill. The man took it in his hand. Young man, who is your mentor? I don't have a mentor. Please return the pill to me. Why don't you take me as your mentor? Are you kidding? First, you steal my pill, and now you want to be my mentor. Do as I say, and you might survive. Kevin felt faint and sat down on the sofa. Maybe he hadn't recovered from his blood loss yet. Moments later, he saw 7 or 8 figures appear on the veranda. I didn't know there were any apothecaries in Chicago. I thought I'd be able to meet a master apothecary, but it looks like I came here for nothing. Kevin watched as the 2 figures looked around the balcony. The storm finally moved off over the lake, and they disappeared again. Who were those people? Kevin had just asked this question when he saw the old man staring at his ring. He immediately realized who he was. You're the Night King from the Alliance? I'm glad you know who I am. Will you please be my mentor?
Hi, Kevin here. If you are wondering what happens next, then download the Pocket FM app and listen to the exciting episodes of Insta Empire now with the link in the description.